What is up, gang? And we are back with another video, and today we will be looking into stack. So what is a stack? Stack is something, you can say it is like when you place some things over top of each other, and we call it a stack. So to explain it further, I will create a diagram for you guys. So the diagram is ready and it is pretty nice, I can say. So we have four different widgets. We have four different containers on the screen. The first one is the red one, then the orange one, or maybe yellowish, I don't know, and then the purple, and then the blue. So what is happening right now? How did we place it there? So stack is simply, you can say, the first one is the bigger container, which is the red color. So when you use stack, the first one will always be underneath. It will place first. It will be placed only first time, which will be at the bottom. Then it is the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one. So this is how the stack is placed. So let's see in code what actually happens. So I have a simple scaffold right now. Let's give it a body and let's give it a stack. Stack, what it takes is, it takes children, and children is always a list of widgets in terms of Flutter. So children will take a list of widgets, and we will be giving a container first, and the container will have a height of, let's say, 400, and the width will also be 400. So let's give it a color also, colors.red, to make it look good. Let's copy paste this now. Okay, sorry, my bad. So what I did, I copy pasted it for 4 times. Now I will give a different height to each container so that we can distinguish between them. And let's give 200 to this one, and let's give it the color of, let's say, pink. Do we have pink? And then last container will have 100, and it will be something blue. So let's save it. Let's see what happens. So perfectly our stack is laid out. So this is 400 pixels square, then this is 300, 201. So what is happening actually? So the first one was the bigger container, that was 400 height and 400 width, which was placed. Then over it we placed a yellow container, which is 300, 300, then the pink, and then the blue one. So this is how a stack is placed. So you ask, why do we need stack? Sometimes what happen, there are some few use cases which you want to create some UI, different UI, a creative UI, and you get things like, what can we do in that case? So stack, always I have seen this, you can master UIs using stack easily. You only need stack, not only, but you need stack to create beautiful UIs which looks easy but aren't, and I will be showing you one use case of that. So we will be doing that also, don't worry about it. So I hope you understand what is a stack. So there are few other properties. Let's see alignment. So alignment is again takes it's from alignment geometry. So we will be having alignment dot, let's say, center. Okay, what did I do wrong? It takes alignment direction. Okay, so you can see, when we started creating the stack, all of the containers were on the top left. So this is like a default property, default setting, you can say, that all the containers or any widget will be lying on top left whenever they are created using a stack. So we can change it using alignment. Let's see what it takes. It takes alignment direction. So we can say alignment direction, let's give a top, center. So let's see what happens now. So they are all refactored to different position right now. So it's on the pink one, and you can see I'm sorry about. So there was a disturbance that I have to pause the video for some time. Okay, so we were at a different position, we were talking about different positions. So now what we can also do is we can use a special widget, which is like you can say comes or works along with stack. So if I want this stack, see there are many alignment directionals, there are many properties like that you can use. But if something you want to change differently, let's say I want this blue color container to be in the center, I want to change its position. So what I can do is I can wrap this container, this particular container, with a special widget, we say positioned. So what does a position widget takes when you wrap it with it? So it has a bottom, height, left, right, top, width. So these are different positions. You want to say that this particular container will be away from, if I say like let's say bottom, so if I say, or let's say top first. So if I say this particular container which is of color blue, I want this to be positioned somewhere around 20 pixels from the top. So let's save it. So you can see it moved, right? You can see it moved. So if I want to move it from the bottom, so it will be again 20 pixels. So let's remove the top one. Let's see what it will do. So you can see it changes its position. Now sometimes there are uses, so you can also use a left and right. I can say left, I want 0.0. so it means what it will do, the blue container will come here to the red container's last, you can see where the position of the red container's boundary. So it will match the blue's boundary with the red's boundary. This is why we use 0.0. So this is very useful when you are creating something like you want to we will see that use case. Actually I have prepared that use case for you guys. Let's save it first and let's see it happens. So you can see that we are here. So this is about stack, and there are few other properties which you can look. It's a stack fit and overflow. What overflow does is when you have an unbounded stack, so what it can do is there are three types of overflow you can use. Like if the widget is overflowing, you can use overflow dot, let's say overflow dot clip and visible, or if I use clip it will remove the extra part, but if I use visible it will also show the extra part out of that boundary. So these are also the some arguments or the properties you can try on yourself and at your own pace. Now let's talk about the use case. So this is pretty okay. I think you guys, if you think this is easy for you guys and you think you can do this by yourself, let's say here it is a drop down arrow also which will open Mr., Mrs., something like that. It is a drop down menu. So if you think it is easy, so pause the video and let's you try and you create this by yourself. And if you can't or you are not able to, then you can check the video. So we will be doing this. So let's remove, first of all, let's remove top center, let's remove these children's, let's keep these two containers first. So now we have something like this. Okay, so this is our diagram. So what we can think is, I think we can use, see many of you are thinking that we will be using row. Okay, then try it and let me know if you are able to do this with a row. Obviously you can, maybe I have not think about it. So this is a use case which I will be showing you now. So let's say, let's first use this container. There are two containers I can see and those are rounded at the edges. So let's create the first container and let's give it a height of, let's say 70 and the width of 300, and the color should be no color actually. And let's give it a decoration because these are rounded corners, right? So decoration, it will take a border first. We have to give a border color, so border takes a border dot all, and I'll say color is colors dot orange accent. Okay, the another property, or maybe we can use width also. The width should be somewhere around 1.5. and also I want some radius, right? So this is the bigger container which are we talking about, this container, this particular container. So we will be giving some border radius only to the right edges, right, and top right and bottom right. So border radius dot only, and only will take top right radius dot circular of maybe 12, and let's give a bottom right. Okay, these are two radiuses we will be using, and let's copy this one only, and let's, because we have to give another decoration also. So this one will be our short one, so we'll be using 80, I guess. Let's see. And these will be left, top left and bottom left. So now let's save it. Let's see if something happens. Okay, so we already have this particular stack. So let's also bring it somewhere, alignment, direction, lock center. Let's see if it does something. Okay, it is very different. So let's wrap it with a center to bring this particular stack on the center, so we can see this easily. So also what we can do, you can see these edges. I hope you guys can see these edges, because we have the maximum height. Let's say I have 250. Okay, now this is shrinking itself. Why the stack is shrinking itself of 250? Let's also give it a color so that we can understand it well. Okay, so let's give it a color, colors dot red. This is the bigger container, and the shadow will have color dot yellow. Also bring this under box decoration, otherwise it will throw a red screen. So we have two containers. So you can see the red one is behind it and yellow one is on the top of it. So you can see if I change this height, this width, sorry, so the whole stack will shrink itself, because we haven't used any foundation or any height or particular, you can say, width to the stack. So it is unbounded, so it will take as much space as it can give for the biggest child. So there are two ways to handle this. Either wrap this stack with a container, or we can have just a similar container which will be something. Let's wrap this one first. Let's see if it helps us in this situation. So I have a container again, and I will say its color will be colors dot green, just to understand where it is lying. And height will be, again we know it will be 70. So I want a total width should be around 300, right? So now let's see what happens. So this is what is happening. This is the whole container, and if I just comment this one, we can see the green one is, so the green one is the container, main container, and we are using a stack. We wrap that stack under that container. Now what we can do, we can see that the total width is 300. So what I want is, let's bring it back, let's remove, we will remove it later. So this is one way to do this. The other way, which is a better way and which will be easy for you guys to understand, because obviously it's stack, right? Wait a minute, sorry guys. So the other way is making a container here, the bigger container, and the bigger container will be just for a reference. It will be a reference that whole stack will take a width of 300 now, because it is unbounded, first of all, the stack, and it has the maximum width is having for this child. So let's see. So it is again there. So now what I can do is I can use the position widget, and I can move this red container to the end here. So for that I told you what to do. So we will wrap it with a position widget, and let's give it a right to 0.0. So it moved there. Now I will remove this green color, and I will remove the red one also, and I'll remove the yellow color too. So now where we are here in the diagram, and we want to create something like this. So there is a line also, right? So now if I use a line, so if I move this container properly, maybe I'll give a height of 250, width of 250. Now you can see this is overlapping. We can see the both container. Why it is happening? Because the container right now is transparent. So if I give it a color for the smaller container, you can see then the scaffold is of white color. So right now the container is transparent because we are not using any color or child. So if I give a white color to this container, this particular container, it will remove this line, it will hide this line because it is lying over the top. Okay, so I told you if you don't use it under the decoration, it will give a red error, red screen. So now we have a pretty UI, nice UI which we wanted to create already. So now let's go with the child, and let's finish this container right now. So the child will be enter your name, and here it will be Mr. So let's see what happens. Okay, so these are the two things we are using. So also we can give it a styling, style, text style. So this is just a UI part. The main part is already over. I hope you guys know that giving us size and everything is pretty okay, right? So let's give it 34. Also we can give this to this container, this text, and let's bring it down to 26, and let's also bring this to 26 or 23 to fit it actually. So it is not doing anything. We have to save it again, and now we have it. Now also we can align this to the center using the alignment property of the container, alignment dot center. Also we can use same for this smaller container, and let's give it here. So this is the UI which we wanted to create, and you can see this is very easy using a stack. And if you want to try with a row, you can, but I am not sure if you will be able to do it without the stack, because these UIs are very they look simple but they are not. So I think stack is pretty much clear with you guys, and if you want to see more videos like this where we tackle some complex UIs, please like, share and comment, and let me know in the comment section. And you can Skype me, or you can contact me at anywhere. I will link down all my social handles in the description. So I hope I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.